Very good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining. We are waiting for a few more people to join in. We'll start in few minutes. Very good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pooja, and I will be the host for today's webinar. On behalf of Microsoft and Sysfore, I would like to welcome you all to the virtual session on intelligently winning customers. Before we begin the session, I would like to take you through the functionalities of this webinar. Your participation is important throughout the session. You will see a control panel at the bottom of your screen. If you have any question for the speakers, please enter the same in the chat window. Your queries will be answered at the end of the session. We have everyone on mute to avoid any disturbance. The agenda for today's session is How to Intelligently Win Customers by Ajith George, co-founder and CTO at Sysfore. And the next session will be by Mr. Narayana Swamy, who is the practice lead for business applications, who will be speaking on key features and demo of D365. And we will have Q&A session for the last 15 minutes. Without further ado, I would like to request Mr. Ajith Matthew George, who is the co-founder and CTO at Sysfore, to go further from here. Over to you, Ajith.
Thank you. Thank you so much. A very good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for taking time and joining this session. As Pooja was mentioning, please make sure that you keep your questions in the chat window, and we will keep responding to that. And then we also have a dedicated time towards the end of the session for a Q&A. What we're going to do is we'll split this into two parts. One is to give you an insight in terms of how intelligence has been playing a big role in the sales engagement or the customer engagement part. And we really want you to understand that part. And then we'll show you an actual application using the Microsoft Dynamics 365 customer engagement. And we will give you a walkthrough on some of the key features in that demo session. So with that, I'm actually going to kick off the first part of the session. So A brief introduction about us. We've been in the business for the last 16 years. We work on all the clouds with Microsoft. We do a whole lot of engagements on Azure, Dynamics 365, and Microsoft Power Platform. Uh, one of the oldest gold partners for Microsoft in the country on the cloud, and we do a lot of cloud app development, cloud managed services. And then on the business application side, we have a very niche focus on Dynamics 365 customer engagement and Microsoft Power Platform, which is a low code, no code platform. So this business application is something which is very personal and very, uh, you know, very key for us. And personally, I've been working on this side for the last over a decade in terms of doing a lot of business process reengineering, especially in the enterprise space. And with the introduction of Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform, the entire landscape has actually changed. So what we wanted to highlight is some of the key things which is actually influencing the people and the buying pattern. So one of the key things which we realize, or most of the customers realize, is that when you are on a sales journey, looking at your prospective leads, what is being seen is a very clear unpredictability in terms of understanding the lead and their actual requirement. And the entire journey of sales also is very confusing these days, because people have a lot of information available on the internet, and there is a clear set of data which has been collected by various companies, and there is comparisons, and these data is available. So customers have all these things available for them, and most of them do this by themselves. So they're on self-service, so which means you need to be there in their mind's frame by being at the right with the right set of information. Second aspect is 75% of the buyers have a wide range of roles or people from various departments involved in buying. Now you take the scenario of a CRM itself. In a CRM, you have IT may be initiating the conversation, but then it is primarily for a sales team. So your sales manager or the national sales head or your marketing head, these are people who are actually key influencers in such decision making. Now what they're all looking at is it actually really helping you in the digital sales? And it is more and more important that your product, your selling strategy has to align to all these people and their expectations. So it is not only just technology and the superiority in technology, but people look at various other factors when it comes to deciding a CRM solution now. Third and most important aspect, we are seeing a lot of millennials coming up as decision makers in the new generation digital selling. And these are really young people, and they are the largest group in terms of this key influencers in the sales and marketing cycle. So that is also a very big change or a shift in terms of how it has been in the traditional way. So how a traditional CRM used to function, where we talk about from a lead to a sales cycle closure, is completely changing. They need a lot of new things in terms of how to enable them to engage with the customers. And lastly, with this COVID, we see that there has been a 2x, digital preferences coming in, right? Uh, there are a lot of big experience which is coming in is on the digital side. How can a company be online? How can a company sell their products online? And this is something which is very key, and COVID has really accelerated the whole thing. Now, what is a key from an intelligent relationship? Uh, Traditionally, we are talking about a lot of face-to-face interactions, right? That is actually changing. That's a key change. Then we used to have people who are sitting and talking. That is also changing. There is a coordinated sales teams who actually interact and create engagements, which is also changing. Now, sales, marketing, all of them are actually becoming an integrated function. It is no more, independent, which means every sales engagement which is actually happening, there is a digital journey of a customer which is already mapped. So is your product ready for a digital mapping of your customer? Can it actually help you? And how can you actually accelerate without seeing the customer and build a relationship? Because you to sell a product or you to sell a service, the relationship building is a key aspect. And that is where you will need additional more capabilities, which an AI or a mixed reality or an IoT and all these social engagements is going to bring in. So these are key factors which is actually influencing a typical B2B sales. Now, one of the key things which I wanted to highlight from a Microsoft Dynamics 365 point of view is we all will look at saying that, hey, I want to increase my sales and I want to acquire new customers, increase sales with existing customers, and I need to generate new opportunities. Now, these are two things which always go hand in hand. Obviously, you need more customers because that is when the growth is actually going to see. The depth is only coming from increasing revenue from existing customers. And how do you do this? These are things is where you need to create new opportunities with customers and you need better ways to close and communicate with customers. So that is one of the key aspects in terms of some of the things which is being looked up from a CRM today. How can you improve your productivity and reduce your sales cycles? How can you engage better? How can you know the pulse of the customer and do that? Now, this is where Microsoft Dynamics 365 plays a huge role. Dynamics 365 is a unique platform which gives you data across multiple of the solutions. One, you have your CRM data. Second, you have your Office 365 or your email data. Your emails is a lot of data. I mean, we say it is a jump because all your engagements with your customers are actually residing in this emails and you cannot miss out a single email. So think about it. Customer sends an email asking for a query, and if you miss it out, you're losing an opportunity. And what if your various sales channels like your website, which actually people comes and put an inquiry note, you track missing it out. All of those things are taken care by Dynamics 365 as a single platform. Now, with LinkedIn coming in, we also take it to the next level with relationship sales. That is actually a big boon for large enterprise customers who are actually looking at depth in terms of engagement. You get LinkedIn within the platform. So this is where the AI is actually playing a huge role with this data across all these locations is getting integrated into your CRM. So that's actually the key aspect. Now, we are not changing anything from your typical sales cycles, but if you can actually get additional information or insights from these data, that is, if the data which is available in your CRM, in your emails, from your LinkedIn, and from your databases, if that can be actually thrown to you in a much more readable, much more sensible manner, saying that, hey, there is a potential that this customer is looking for it. There is a customer who's been researching on this particular product. Can you actually look at that? So this kind of insights is going to actually be a play role. So we have customer insights, we have sales insights and all these additional add-on products, which is actually helpful. Now, the entire sales journey is not changed, where you typically know that you have a lead to qualify, you develop on this to understand what is the exact customer requirement, and then you propose to the customer with your proposal or your quotation. Now, this entire journey is actually mapped with a lot of intelligent things. You have a predictive lead scoring. You have a connect which actually says, hey, in my organization, so and so is connected to this particular potential lead. So I can get a connection or an introduction through that person. Opportunity scoring based on how you are actually communicating with the customer, how your customer is responding back to your emails. Identify opportunities from emails, auto capture those, and all these relevant data points, like, your news about your customer, your information about what is the customer doing, all of those things are your conversational points. And this is actually a big change. Now, think about, in a traditional way, the sales teams are driven by sales managers, and these sales managers would have daily stand-up calls and, review calls in terms to understand what the sales reps are doing on that particular day. Those days have gone. Today, people are self-driven by the platform. Platform assistant will actually tell you, hey, you need to respond to these. You have this appointments, you have this meetings, and it actually drives your daily activities. Such is the beauty of platform. And that is where Dynamics 365 is way unique in terms of that. So your assistant is like a personal assistant. It actually helps you in driving and planning your entire journey. And that way you are actually more active. And then from all the data, what has been gathered in your engagement, there is a lot of analytics which is coming in, and it can actually tell the sentiments in terms of your relationship, how strong is your relationship, and also track. Imagine you are sending a quotation to a customer, and quotation, customer has been calling you saying that, hey, I need the proposal by 5, and let's say you send it by 5, and then you start calling the customer is not answering your call anymore. And these are practical challenges which all organizations face. How do you handle that? That is where the new intelligent email engagement helps you. It actually tells you what the customer has actually seen in your email, whether he has opened your proposal. It actually gives you all these kinds of insight. And with additional intelligence, it can also tell that, how much of this data is being shared by within that particular customer organization. So that's the detail to which today the CRM tools are actually going. I wanted to take a pause, and I want to take any other questions at this particular moment. Otherwise, we will move to the key features. Okay, so let's move on to the key demo. I request Narayan, my colleague, to actually highlight the key features and then talk about the platform. Yes.
Thanks, Ajith, for the quick and detailed overview about the intelligent sales journey. I'll just quickly share my screen. So I would like to highlight the key features which is available in Dynamics 365, like a sales and sales insights. So as I mentioned, there is a platform which has a built-in capability which you can rapidly build mobile applications, workflows, customizations, and the power apps, right? On top of that, there is a relationship selling. So like if you see the traditional way of selling, it's a like kind of like a lead to opportunity, opportunity to quotation, quotation to order and invoice. Whereas a relationship sales, it's basically drives the sales engagement from the system itself, and it has a lot of parameters, kind of like sales performance, sales insights, and there is a Office 365 integration which helps in detailed about how the email engagement is happening. So kind of like all the features are part of in the Dynamics 365. So I'm not going in deep of all these features. I would like to highlight things. So I'm moving to the next on the marketing module. I'll just yeah. So again in the marketing management, if you see here a couple of features I would like to highlight, like a multi-channel campaigns, lead nurturing, event management, insights and reporting, and unified platform, and again a capability on smart selling, on smart campaigns. Again, now I'm just moving to the key features. So today I just plan to showcase high level key features which is available in Dynamics 365. The first one is kind of like a predictive lead scoring. Say you are a sales representative and there are a couple of leads are assigned to your desktop, or maybe you are the owner for the couple of leads, and maybe these leads are generated from website or maybe generated from social media. So what predictive lead scoring will help you, basically you can jump in and say, okay, this is a lead score and this is a healthy lead, and maybe you can identify based on the scoring, you can say, hey, this is very potential. So quickly you can take up that lead and you can put additional effort so that you can nurture the lead and you can qualify. That is where the predictive lead scoring. Now once you know this is a potential lead, and then who knows who gives you, because you are part of a sales cycle, right? Maybe you have a sales team and maybe your colleagues are part of the customer, like who already connected with a couple of spokes. So it gives you maybe a so and so person is already linked with, or maybe have a good healthy relationship with the prospect. So that way you can get introduce yourself in a quicker manner. So that way you can just do that introductions. Then it gives a mixed reality. So basically kind of like a analytics where you are in the right digital world where you want to showcase your product online. That's where the mixed reality, it quickly takes you to demonstrate your technical product online. Then action recommends. So system have predefined actions where it can say this is where you have to do and this is where the engagement has to be done. Then finally it gives more analytics about the relationship, how you build a relationship, right? So I'll just quickly go one by one. Yeah. So this is where I was talking about the lead management, right? So if you open the lead, you're able to see all the grades. Like I'll be highlighting. You see here there is a grade A, grade B, grade D. So based on my lead scoring, I can pick up that lead, right? And I can see here, I can see the lead score trend as well. So based on my trend, based on my lead grade, based on my lead score, I can decide this is a potential lead. Very interesting. Yes. Now I'm moving to the next key feature is who knows who. So this is where I was talking about. Like I come to know that my colleague is already connected with say Mackie, right? So I can just do a quick introduce from Mackie itself. That way I can connect to him by knowing the relationship, like who knows who. This is a key feature available in LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And I request Ajith to play a video to showcase the mixed reality.
Hey, thanks, Danny. I think this video is actually going to give a lot of clarity in terms of how the entire solution works with respect to augmented reality.
In sales, work is about building customer relationships. Dynamics 365 for Sales with Product Visualize can help you communicate more effectively with your customers, streamlining the sales process.
Hi, thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Of course, thanks for driving out here.
Yeah.
So why don't we head on up to the conference room? I'm just going to level with you. I'm having some trouble deciding between your company's product and a competitor.
You know what? Why don't you show me the factory floor and I can show it to you?
Really? Okay, well, let's try that out.
Product Visualize allows you to show your customers a mixed reality view of the products they're interested in.
Want to see our model? I think it'll help you make a decision. Take a look at that.
Oh, wow. You know, that actually fits better than what I was expecting.
Please, I want you to have a go. Take a look.
Great.
You can view the product and discuss it as if it's physically there.
Oh, wow. So this model has 2 emergency switches, but I don't know about the fan being here. The panel's normally on that side.
Ah, okay. We can totally change that. We'll just make a note really quick.
You can take notes directly on the product.
Okay, great. Is there anything else?
Yes, actually, here, the base plate, that sticks out too far.
No worries. Let me send this off to our technical specialist, and he'll let us know our options.
And invite your team back at the office into the conversation.
He says all the changes are doable.
That's great.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know what to expect, but this whole thing has been super helpful. So if you could send me a proposal as soon as you can.
Sure. Oh, yeah, I'll work on it right away. Thank you so much for meeting with me today. It was a pleasure.
Nice to meet you, too.
Yeah.
Product Visualize helps everyone involved reach a shared understanding, giving your customers the confidence they need to make decisions faster.
Great. I think that sets the context in terms of how Dynamics 365 CRM can actually help you in selling your advanced products in a much more easier manner, especially in this digital world. So moving on, Nani, over to you again.
Yes. Again, like so here I was mentioning the action recommends. So this is basically kind of once you propose a solution, maybe you can take sales insights as a recommendation so that you can connect to a couple of leads or opportunities from the sales navigator. Last but not the least, the relationship analytics, which gives you so far whatever your sales representatives or a sales managers has put a lot of effort to nurture and to propose and to do negotiations. So all the insights it gives you to analyze and take it to the next level. Let me take a privilege to give a quick demo on the platform. I'll just share my screen again. Yes. So as any sales representative or a sales coordinator or sales manager logs into the platform, so the key feature is a dashboard. Dashboard gives you what I supposed to do. So I have a pipeline is ready. I have my leads which are open, and there is a, as mentioned, there is a relationship assistant which show us what I need to do today. That is where the relationship assistants guide us. So if you see the right side, I'm able to see a couple of leads which so far I have not taken any action, right? So I can click on the relationship assistant in detail, and it gives me, see, there is no activity with the lead. Do you want to send an email? And there is a no activity with other lead. Can I open that lead? That is where the insights will help you to take a quick actions on that. Now coming back to my relationship assistant, with that I'm moving to the opportunities. So I have an opportunities. I just want to quickly see my pipeline. So I just opening my pipeline. I should be able to see my pipeline. Yeah, I just clicked on the my pipeline. I should be able to see all my pipeline, like my opportunities, and I'm doing a further drill down on the account level. So I just want to see account. I just choose an account, and I want to see for this account basis, I just want to see who are all the key 3 top opportunities, which is right now I need to focus. So I'm able to see 3 key opportunities like Adventure Works, Fourth Coffee, and this one. So I can quickly navigate to that particular and I can take an action that. Now let's moving to the lead management, where I was talking about the lead management, right? So I'm just switching to the lead management. I should be able to see my scorings. I should be able to see all my lead scorings and grades and my. So based on this, I can quickly go to the particular lead. So maybe I'm just going particular lead. I should be able to see the same insights. I just clicked on the column array and it open up that lead. You see here I'm able to see all the insights about the particular lead. You see the right side, I should be able to see my lead score, and as I mentioned, who knows whose, right? You see here my colleague who has a good healthy relationship, it gives you the strength of the relationship between the prospect. That gives us, so I can quickly take help from Rene and get introduced myself to the prospect. Now I am moving to the relationship analytics. So as I mentioned, a relationship analytics, and so here it shows us more detail about the analytics, and I have a LinkedIn Sales Navigator here. So I am moving to the Sales Navigator. So here Sales Navigator gives us a privilege to see all the insights within Dynamics CRM itself. Like I should be able to see the account profile, I should be able to see LinkedIn mail, and I should be able to see all the member profiles as well. Similarly, I am moving to the opportunity management. So again, in the opportunity, I just click on an opportunity, and it shows all the opportunities with the probabilities, and the same insights I can see in the opportunity as well. So I just taking one opportunity. I'm just opening enterprise bundle, say first one. I should be able to see the same insights in the opportunity itself. And here again, I have the relationship analytics for this particular opportunity. Yes, you see here, so far, what is the time spent I should be able to see. So kind of like from them 13 hours, from us 14 hours we put an effort, and I should be able to see all my interactions, like how many emails I exchange, how many meetings I have done, and how many phone calls I have done, and how many similar kind of insights I should be able to see from them as well, right? I'm just going in detail about how we are responsive by from or by them. So I should be able to see, and I should be able to see the response time as well, and most contacted I should be able to see. So this is my team. I should be able to see So how many emails, how many phone calls, and how many calendars are exchanged so far. So similarly, here as well, again, as I mentioned, we have a LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and here also I can see all the insights, and I should be able to see all my product, and I should be able to generate quotations. So all those things in a single frame, I should be able to quickly create and manage the things.
Nani, can I add a point to what you were saying?
Yes, Ajith, go ahead.
So one of the key things which I was highlighting in my introduction was about how the sales management uh, has been changed in organizations. Is your daily stand-up calls and your daily reviews about what's going on the field. Think about the proactive way the platform is actually driving sales. That is one key aspect. We saw many of those capabilities where you saw the assistant helping you at with the respective cards at each level, and this assistant at the home dashboard, you get a consolidated view, and when you are actually at a particular opportunity or a particular lead, you get the respective data. When I say respective data, what is pertaining to that particular account. So in this case, this Datum Corporation's data, what is related to the communication, what is related to the detail which is actually happening there, that is what is actually the system providing you there. So which means as you move from one area to the other in the platform, the data what is being shown to you is also very crisp and relevant. And that way, the insight is always there with you in terms of how it can actually enable each of the salesperson. Now, if you're actually looking at different account managers or different salespeople working with different customers, and the manager can actually give you get a consolidated view of the overall teams or overall team members progress. The best part is manager could see the snapshot view of the entire thing, whereas the individual user can actually see their respective things. So this is something which is very unique and very available right into the platform, and it will actually engage or help the users to engage and perform better. So this is a change which is actually happening, and that is where the organization is understanding that a product which can actually bring in sales, which can also bring in the marketing information, where you know that your entire customer journey is mapped, your customer information from the time your campaigns are actually run or the customer visits to your website, all of those things are actually available for the salesperson in one single place. That is actually the uniqueness of this relationship selling. Over to you, Nani.
Thanks, Ajith. So I would like to highlight one more key feature called timeline. So here is a feature where you can quickly add all your phone calls, email, engagement, appointments, and tasks which is you performed. So like I can just quickly show the filters which so far how the engagement is happened. So if you see here, it shows by a post, it shows by activities, and if any email activities is done or a phone call activity is done, it shows all the insights within a timeline. Similarly, there are plenty of opportunities which is already on the pipeline. So I can go back to my opportunity. I should be able to see all my opportunities. Suppose if I am the manager, I just clicked on the opportunities. Now, right now it shows only my opportunities. So here is an option where I can quickly switch to any views. So I just clicked on my open opportunities, and I'm just selecting all opportunities. So here, as soon as I choose all opportunities, I should be able to view all opportunities, because I'm the manager. I should be able to see all, and I can see all the status wise, and I can filter out here. I can export to Excel. All the capabilities are there. Or maybe I want to see more insights. I can just click on the show chart, so which gives each account wise, like a top customer wise, gives a data, and I can see like so this is actually the fourth coffee is the more potential and more valued opportunity. Maybe I can just quickly go inside that, and I should able to again. So this is where I choose again fourth coffee. I'm able to see all opportunities which is related to fourth coffee, and in that I can pick up the particular opportunity and I can start working on that one. So this will be basically help for any account manager who holds couple of accounts, and they can quickly pick up the account, and they should be able to see all the opportunities which is mapped to the account manager, and based on that I can open the respective opportunity. I can start working on that. With that, I covered all the things. Any queries? Happy to take up.
Thank you, Nani. I think that was very nice. I think you covered the aspects in terms of how the entire AI piece is falling in place. Uh, you know, I think this definitely will give everyone a good deep dive in terms of how the platform is actually working. Now, I think there were a few questions. I think we definitely need to open up for the questions. Uh, so please put your questions, or if you have any questions, you can actually speak up on, by unmuting yourself. Uh, there are a few questions which I've already received. I'll take up few of them, which has been shared. And so one of the question which people have actually asked is the first question which I'm seeing is one worry for customers or people when in our organization we are adopting, we see that people are not using the platform. How do you think Dynamics 365 can tide over that kind of a problem? I think this is a good question. Every organization, when you are actually adopting a platform, definitely there will be resistance. There will be resistance in terms of what the platform is going to create for the people, or how good or bad is it for them. That apprehension will actually create that challenge. But what is more important is for the team who is spearheading such a transition or a transformation journey is to make sure that what is the value add a platform or a product sales CRM product is bringing to that particular individual. Now, a lot of time people think that, oh, I'm actually going to record my activities. People are going to review how many I've actually done, and it is more, frankly speaking, this usage of tool is first of all seen as a big productivity improvement thing, because otherwise you will keep recording these information in mails and Excel sheets and other things, right? So a person's quality time of engaging with customers is automatically tracked. The notes, everything is remaining in one single place. So obviously you have more time to focus on your customer and the customer interaction. Second, you will need to see how platform can actually help you engage with the customer. So that is where we were actually highlighting about relationship sales. And this is where you will need to highlight these capabilities to the people or to the sales team, saying that, hey, these are areas where you're going to get benefited. And that is where adoption is going to be helpful. Now, if you understand one other aspect, for organizations who are actually using the Microsoft Office 365, Office 365, you all know that, it's a key player in terms of email engagement. Now, if you look at the Office 365, Microsoft Dynamics 365 is directly integrated with Office 365, which means you're actually using the same email interface, tracking the same thing from within your platform. You don't need to go outside anywhere else. So that way, it's a very tight integration. What you do in your mails is available in D365 CRM. What you do in 365 is available in your emails. So that way, you don't actually feel any kind of a discomfort. And in fact, it is also going to help you with respect to how you can better engage with that. I'll actually play one video because this is a very good question, and I would want to showcase a particular video. This will give you that clarity on the platform in terms of making sure that how this can actually adopt. So let me just play this.
For many sales professionals, email is the most important channel for contacting leads, communicating with customers, and closing deals. But the problem is, once you send an email, your message is gone, and there's nothing left to do but wait for the reply. Wouldn't it be better to know if your message was received? What parts of the message readers found most interesting? Or when was the best time to send the message? Email engagement in Microsoft Dynamics 365 helps answer these questions so that you can be more effective with email. When you sign in to Dynamics 365, the Relationship Assistant is there to bring important issues to your attention right away. Here's a follow-up reminder for an email that was sent last week. The message included a compelling sales offer, but we never got a reply. The card provides handy links for viewing the original message, dismissing the card, or snoozing it for later. We've also received an alert that another important message was opened by the recipient just a few minutes ago. That means this customer is at work right now and may be considering our offer. Let's see what's happening with this customer. We see that his message was sent in connection with an open sales opportunity. All the details are here, including the history of our related email communications. Here's the message that our customer just opened. We can see the customer clicked on one of the links we included in the message, and they went to our webpage about joining us at an upcoming conference. We composed this message yesterday and scheduled it to be delivered just 10 minutes ago. The customer read and clicked on the links in the email right away, which suggests that the customer is hungry for our products. The customer could be thinking about our proposal right now, so let's give her a call and offer a discount on the entry passes to the conference. Maybe we can set up a meeting to close the deal while we're there. The phone call went great, so now it's time to set up a follow-up email. Start by adding a new email message to the opportunity. We are sending a standard thank you follow-up for the phone call, which means we can start with the message template. Dynamics 365 intelligently recommends a template that has worked well in the past. Unlike traditional emails, followed emails enable us to see how the customer interacts with the message. We can also set a delivery time and see recommendations based on the customer's time zone. Finally, let's set a follow-up reminder like the one we saw earlier. We've offered the customer a discount for the conference, so we'll attach a coupon as a PDF and make it a followed attachment so we'll know if the customer downloads it. Email engagement is part of the new Relationship Insights Suite for Dynamics 365 and empowers you to plan your strategy, choose your next steps, and examine your results. Thanks for watching.
So I'm sure this would have given you, the clarity in terms of how emails are actually tightly integrated into the platform. So with that, I think we'll take another question. I think somebody has put in the chat. Need to understand, is there any industry specific solution available, especially for FMCG? We are currently running with MS Navision. See, Microsoft Navision, I don't know what version and how you're actually using it, whether it's an on-prem or the newer Dynamics 365 is actually completely a web-based platform. And it is a standard platform which is available for any kind of segment. There is no independent module which is available for any particular industry. Whereas the sales process, what you are actually seeing can actually be mapped. The sale, if you've seen when Narayan was actually showcasing the lead opportunity cycle, you can actually see the various stages, right? The lead, qualify, propose, and the sales stages in a particular organization or a particular industry's journey can be customized. If you say that you wanted to have a specific sales process which needs to be configured, you can actually do that. But to answer your question, there is no standard out of the box solution set for FMCG, but this has to be understood and then mapped in the product. It's a product which is actually pretty much available for you, where you can actually have these mappings or the process mapped against your particular business requirement. That is how the entire solution works. Yeah, so if you're using on-prem, there's one challenge because this is running on the cloud, and it might be not that easy to connect between that, because you will definitely need to see that both are in the two different data centers, right? One is on a cloud data center and the other one is on your local on-prem. Yes, but people are today looking at migrating the customer information between their on-prem databases or on-prem ERP systems, and the same customer information is actually pushed back into the CRM, or the CRM information when the customer or the order is actually created, or when the customer is created, it is actually passed on to your ERP system. So that is how this has been pretty much done. Any other questions? I have a few other questions which just come up. Okay, Prakash has actually asked this question. We are already using Dynamics 365 online for our service and sales. In order to use email engagement, do we require sales professional, sales enterprise license? If you're using, existing sales enterprise, you definitely would already have that. Email engagement is actually part of both sales enterprise and sales professional. Email engagement is a by default feature which is available. The only requirement is that your administrator should actually provide you the details of your mail exchanges, and those has to be configured into your Dynamics 365. That is how it actually functions. If you think there is any specific challenges you're actually facing, please feel free to reach out to any of us. Narayan and myself will share our details, coordinates in the chat window. Please feel free to drop us an email. We can actually have somebody get in touch with you and help on that. But yes, to clarify, it is available for both the platforms. Email engagement is by default available for all the versions. One of the question is, while you are asking or speaking about CRM, can you tell us what are the other capabilities of Dynamics 365 platform? I think Narayan had a full slide about that in terms of what are the modules which is there in Dynamics 365. Maybe I think we skipped that, but we went detail into two of the modules, which is the sales and marketing. So if you talk about Dynamics 365 as a platform, Dynamics 365 customer engagement, which is the CRM side of business, has sales, customer service, field service, marketing, and then we also have project services. Now, these are part of the customer engagement functionality. Now, moving to the larger Dynamics 365 ERP capabilities, you have the finance and operations, which is pretty much part of every ERP system. Your purchase, your inventory management, your finance, all of those things are actually part of the core ERP system. So that is how the entire platform is built. And additionally, you have these components which we've been talking about as the insights. You have the sales insights, you have the customer insights, you have customer service insights. All of those things are, the intelligent modules which is actually available for you to configure that. Now, where do we use these modules? For example, you want to understand about your customers and you want to get some more insights about the customers. So customer insights can be configured with different data sources, and it doesn't need to be only your CRM data. It can be your ERP data. It can be your other, vendor data which is coming in. All of those things, can actually be fed into this independently, and you can actually get the customer insights. So likewise, all these independent modules can also be bought and can be used. Same way, as part of the customer engagement, you could also buy Microsoft Relationship Sales, which is actually sales, Microsoft Sales Enterprise, and the LinkedIn Navigator. So this is something which is actually available. So that means Dynamics, by adopting Dynamics, you're not restricting yourself to only CRM. You have a full-blown set of modules which include CRM, ERP, and all other insight capabilities. I hope that clears the answer. There's another question from Ashok. We are already using Dynamics 365 Online for our sales module. Sales Insight is available in the standard configuration. No, Sales Insight is a separate module. It is actually available as a separate add-on, which you could actually procure, and you will need to enable that. Here is another question which is talking about, can you state some industries who are leveraging the new integrated sales platform? Now, I think we answered this question in part earlier while we were responding to one of the queries. Every industry, you take, whether it is banking, whether it is retail, whether it is manufacturing, discrete manufacturing, the typical distribution, all these has very unique selling cycles. Now, as a platform, it actually has capability to configure this. Now, that is where the organization can actually utilize the full strength of the platform, where you could configure this to the dynamic need of your business. In fact, one of the customers whom we were actually working in the manufacturing space, they were using sales functionalities, and during this COVID time, they were not actually traveling to any of the customer locations, and they really felt that, earlier they used to meet every customer at least once in a month, and they found it very difficult because, they had to adapt to this lockdown and, the challenges due to the pandemic. So they moved into a different way of selling itself. Their selling cycles actually their KPIs actually has been changed, and they actually looked at how the engagement was actually being done by the people in terms of the activities. Now, if you look at in the demo, we are actually shown about your timeline and your engagements, the activities, what you do. The strength of the activities is what they actually started to measure, to see that the sales teams are actually aligned to the respective accounts they are actually managing and are actively engaging with them. So these are some of the unique things which I think we would definitely need to understand in this changing times. I know we have taken the full time, but if anybody has any further questions, happy to take. Otherwise, we would like to conclude this session. We would want to thank all of you who have joined. We are going to share our coordinates in the chat window. You could actually reach out to any of us at any time. Mine and Narayan's coordinates, email coordinates are actually shared. Feel free to reach out for any queries or any technical assistance. We look forward to engaging with you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining today's session.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ajith and Mr. Narayan. So we would now like to conclude the session. With this, we come to the end of the session, and I would like to thank you for taking your time out from your busy schedule and being a part of this webinar. I would like to thank Microsoft for the support and success of this webinar. For any queries, please feel free to drop us an email. Thank you all for attending the webinar on intelligently winning customers. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Uninstall केलं की deep security.